What if the person everyone doubted, the one they ignored, rejected, and underestimated, was the one meant to carry the weight of everyone's expectations? Not because he was the strongest at the beginning, but because he refused to give up on people who had already given up on him. That is the story of Naruto Uzumaki in Naruto. Because Naruto doesn't just become a leader through power, he becomes one through pressure, pain, and the ability to transform rejection into connection. Naruto's journey begins in isolation. From childhood, he is treated differently, avoided, judged, feared, not because of his actions, but because of what exists within him, the Nine Tails. And for a child, this kind of treatment does something profound. It creates confusion, loneliness, a deep need to be seen and acknowledged. But instead of shutting down, Naruto does something different. He reaches outward. He becomes loud, energetic, attention-seeking, not because he wants to annoy people, but because he wants to exist in their awareness. Because even negative attention feels better than being invisible. And this is where his emotional foundation is built, a desire for connection so strong that it overrides rejection. This desire becomes his driving force. Naruto doesn't just want to be strong, he wants to be recognized. He wants to prove that he matters, that he belongs. And this is why his dream of becoming Hokage is so powerful. It's not about the title, it's about validation, about finally being seen by the very people who once ignored him. But as he grows, something begins to shift. Because Naruto starts to understand that leadership is not about being acknowledged, it's about acknowledging others. It's about seeing people, understanding them, and standing by them even when it's difficult. And this shift is what transforms him. Naruto's greatest strength is not his power, it's his empathy. He has experienced pain, rejection, loneliness, and instead of letting those experiences harden him, he uses them to connect with others. He sees himself in their struggles, he understands their anger, their frustration, their fear. And because of that, he doesn't just fight enemies, he reaches them. This is what sets him apart from traditional leaders. Because most leaders focus on defeating opposition, Naruto focuses on understanding it. And that approach changes everything. When he encounters characters who have lost their way, who have been consumed by pain, he doesn't immediately reject them. He listens. He relates. He shows them that their experiences don't have to define them. And in doing so, he creates something powerful: possibility. This is especially important when we look at how Naruto handles pressure. Because as he grows stronger, as his responsibilities increase, the expectations placed on him become heavier. People begin to rely on him, to believe in him, to look to him for answers, for protection, for stability. And that kind of pressure can be overwhelming. Because it's not just about your own journey anymore, it's about everyone else's. But Naruto doesn't collapse under that pressure. He adapts to it. He understands that being a leader means carrying weight, making difficult decisions, standing firm even when things are uncertain. And most importantly, continuing to move forward, even when doubt exists. Because doubt is part of leadership. There are moments where Naruto questions himself. Moments where the responsibility feels heavy. Moments where the path is unclear. But what defines him is not the absence of doubt, it's his response to it. He continues. He persists. He refuses to give up, not just on himself, but on others. And this is where his leadership becomes powerful. Because people don't follow perfection, they follow persistence. They follow someone who keeps going, who keeps believing, who keeps showing up even when it's hard. Naruto's leadership is also built on trust. He trusts his friends. He believes in their abilities. He allows them to contribute, to grow, to become stronger in their own ways. And this creates a sense of unity, a team that is not just dependent on one person, but strengthened by each individual. This is an important lesson in leadership. True strength is not about doing everything yourself. It's about creating an environment where others can thrive. Naruto doesn't try to control every situation. He doesn't try to be the sole hero. He understands that leadership is about collaboration, about shared responsibility, about collective growth. There's also something important about how Naruto handles conflict. He doesn't avoid it, but he doesn't approach it with hatred either. He approaches it with understanding. He recognizes that behind every conflict, there is a story, a reason, a cause. And by addressing that root, he creates lasting change. Because solving problems at the surface level only creates temporary results. But understanding the root creates transformation. Naruto's journey also highlights the importance of identity. For a long time, he is defined by how others see him, the outcast, the troublemaker, the host of the Nine Tails. But over time, he redefines himself. He creates his own identity, based on his actions, his choices, his values. And this is a powerful lesson. Your identity is not fixed. It is shaped by what you do consistently. Naruto chooses to be someone who protects, someone who connects, someone who believes. And through those choices, he becomes a leader. Not because he was born into it, not because he was given it, but because he earned it. At the end of the day, Naruto's story is not about becoming the strongest. It's about becoming someone others can rely on. Someone who stands firm under pressure. Someone who carries responsibility with purpose. Someone who turns pain into connection. Because true leadership is not about power, it's about impact. And Naruto proves that even the most unlikely person can become the one everyone looks up to.